They go back since bowl cuts. He's Dave. He's JR. Two grown men who can't get enough of each other. It's Hangin with Homie. Let's start the show.
Well, I want to just start things off.
We'll start things. I don't know where you're going to go with this because I got some directions, but it's been a week for me. Different than you, but a week also.
Yeah. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm 38.
Happy birthday. How does it feel, bro? Because in a few months here.
You're going to be joining the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to say.
How does it feel?
I have this one hip pointer on the left side, man.
Oh, come on.
And that's the only, if I could complain about anything, it's that. And you know, I can just stretch it. I use the foam roller. It's not a huge deal. It's like the only thing I could like even justifiably complain about body-wise. But ever since 30, like every birthday has felt exactly the same. Nothing changes.
Get into your late 30s and you're paired with either back pain or hip pain. So just get ready if you're not there yet, if you're listening to this.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'll need a new hip because, you know, I stay in the gym. But
you
just went through literal back surgery.
Yeah.
Put the team on my back. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Look what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good.
I'm glad to hear it. And you just went out to eat with your pop, huh?
Steak, dude. Had to do steak for birthday. It's just like a rite of passage. And honestly, yesterday I went to work. I don't know. At this age, like, you should be thankful that you have stuff to do. And I think that everybody makes a way bigger deal out of your birthday than you do.
100%.
I'm always like, it's a day. I love and appreciate the messages and the call. Like, I love that. But it is just a day. Like, oh, are you going to do something special? I'm like, yeah. I took a nap, and it was incredible, and no one bothered me. And, like, that was my favorite part of my actual birthday.
Yeah. You know, I got folks that I work with here that straight up take vacation time because it's their birthday week.
That's aggressive. Not saying a day off isn't warranted, but, you know, I don't know if taking the day of your birthday off is the best idea. Like, pick a day toward the end of the week or the beginning. Make it a long weekend. These people with birthday months, I don't get it. Please don't even explain. I know you can't explain it to me because you don't get it either.
No, I couldn't even begin to. It's like every year my birthday is on a Tuesday or a Saturday. So it's like, you know, dude, what do I just take off a day the week before, Bob? Call it a longer week? I don't know.
Well, here's the 38.
Yeah, here we go. Miller time, baby. What? Dude, it has been a hell of a week, man. A hell of a week.
And I was wondering, like, what direction are we going here? And obviously, you know, you and me, let me just do a disclaimer for everybody. We don't air, like, personal stuff that's not my thing or your thing. Like, we don't call people out. We don't do that here. So, but we still are going to keep it real. So there's a line.
Yeah, you know, you and I have spoken privately towards, I think it was, you know, end of this week.
Late. I was about to pass out.
Yeah, there's just some things happening in my personal life that are rough. And, you know, I feel like if I get into them right now, it's going to bring down the whole show.
I'm with you, but look, I'm here for it. And I got to say, like, the audience, our day ones, they're here for it, too, if it's a place you want to go.
Yeah. I think I got to put my mind around it a little bit more before I can, like, really, really address what's happening. I don't want to speak anything prematurely, and honestly, if I did try to like break it, it just probably wouldn't make sense. I'd be all over the map. So I kind of want to just focus on what's been good this week.
What's been good? Yeah, dude. What's been good, dude? Your boy, I had another trip around the sun, so that's number one.
Yeah,
now,
number one.
You tell me on your side, bro. What has been good?
What's been good has been, you know, with all things considered, I've really been able to dive into some, you know, collectibles and hobby stuff and really just distract my mind And one of the events that I hit up on Saturday here in Aurora was Retromania, which was pretty sweet.
Okay, and I remember we were talking, you were going to do a vlog. So how did that go?
Not good, bro. I've been out of the game so long.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to grab, I think I still have it over here somewhere, my little SL2 with the wide lens, I would have been in business, right? But I'm like, no, I got to film it in 4K. The camera's like 10 years old. I got to step it up.
Right.
But the problem with that is I don't know this new camera well, and I would have just doubled the time that I was there trying to set up shots. So basically, I got intimidated by the camera and decided to, well, okay, let me just stick to what I know. Let me just, make a quick Instagram reel about what happened. And there was a lot that happened there. I was only there a couple of hours. I scored some dope figures. I bumped into some people. And it's always so cool going to these events, and different vendors and sellers know who you are. They know
That
who I
is
am
cool.
because of the content that I make.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like they know me just because they like my stuff, or they're like, here comes a sucker, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
But I bumped into quite a few people that knew me from my reels and stuff, and chopped it up with them, and made some deals, haggled a couple bundles, never hurt nobody.
Love haggling. My favorite thing.
Yeah, so I left with some really cool WWE figures. I left with a couple TMNT figures. And probably the highlight for me of Retromania was meeting Ernie Reyes Jr.
You posted that, and I said, no way, dude. It's
Monster,
one of your
dude.
lines. It's one of your lines in your song, right?
Yeah, kicking it like Ernie Reyes. And I think I've mentioned him before because I stay close to green like Keno do. So I put him in a couple of. I should have told him this. I put you in a couple of bars,
didn't,
dog.
dude? You didn't? I thought you
No.
would have. First thing.
No, I didn't even think of it. I found a copy of Surf Ninjas, which he plays Johnny in that movie. Great, underrated
Surf Ninjas.
film.
Gotta
Yeah.
throw it on now. Now that you mentioned it, now I'm gonna have to watch it.
So I found a copy on DVD at this event, and I was down to my last few bucks. I had really went in. Retail therapy is a real thing, and it can be dangerous,
For
right?
guys like you, I mean,
Yeah.
you got a specific hobby, okay? It's real, and it's not the cheapest one.
No, not at all. So after I kind of, blew my loot on all of the figures and such, picked up that copy on DVD, and then I went over to him and paid to get it signed. And he writes, to JR, Wansu dude, Ernie Reyes Jr., a.k.a. Johnny. I was like, this is so cool, man.
It's going
And then
on
we got to do a pic, and yeah, it was just, he was super kind. It was fun.
Going on the wall. I mean, that's an instant PC because it's personalized. So, what do you do? Flip it? Like, no.
Right.
You got to keep that.
And I think he was a little bit caught off guard that it was personalized, because you know how a lot of these folks, they'll bring in their figures, they'll get them signed, they'll, flip them, they'll get them, authenticated, whatever. But I was like, no, this is 100% just for me.
Yeah.
Nobody else is getting their hands on this. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
Shows you're a real fan.
Do you have anything that ever comes into the shop that's like to Jake signed Mickey Mantle or something?
I'll be like, oh, I'll take it. I don't know about this Jake guy, but Mickey Mantle this could be a guy
Can
right
we
here.
just-
He could be somebody. To Dave.
Yeah.
There's a ton. Actually, all right, the funniest thing is I bought this collection in the last summer, from one of the photographers from the Red Sox. His name was Tim Samway. And
cool.
he met like Ronald Reagan, dude. I have a Ronald Reagan signed baseball photo.
The
with-
actor?
Yeah, the actor and the president. And he was with Clemens and Don Baylor, some photos. And there's all these pictures, and a bunch of them now. It's like Roger Clemens signed it to Tim, and all these things to Tim. Yogi Berra to Tim. And then,
Man.
wouldn't you know it, the first week I'm here in the shop, the person I hired as my manager's name is Tim.
Tim.
So it looks like all these pictures are like people that like met Tim, and it's like
it's amazing.
Yogi Berra to Tim. Good luck. Like it's right here on the wall.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, it was so nice meeting him.
Me
What a
and
good
Yog.
guy.
Yeah, me and Rocket. Yeah, we're just kicking it. No big deal. So the stuff that comes in, we got a binder today, and since this isn't going out for a week, dude, I have to be honest about how we do this. And I look through the binder quick. Like, if I see a card I like, I never linger. You never want to let on that you're like, wow, there's something in here. Because I always say, hey, what's a number that would make you happy? Like, these are yours. They've been at your house for however long. We all have the internet. There's no secrets. Like, if you want to do the work, you can do the work. So, what do you want? And the guy's like, well, I don't know. What would you guys pay? And we're like, well, we don't want to be low, but like $25. And the guy's like, oh, I was thinking of $250. And I was like, nah, we're pretty far apart.
Yeah.
And so Tim comes back and he's like, I mean, would you do 80? And he's like, nah. And then we talk a little bit. Tim's like, all right, $100. Like, that's the final I can do. And there's probably like 40 pages in the binder, and there's some mixed stuff, mixed sports. So we get the deal done because the guy has more totes at his house. 13 totes down the street. Tim's like, I'm going to go check it out. Great. Tim goes, checks it out. So it turns out none of the totes had anything he wanted, and I trust him, so I didn't even need to go look. He brought the money. I was like, you brought back all my cash. I appreciate it. I'm excited. So I'm going to spend it if I don't have to. Turns out in this binder is some stuff. There's a 88 Jordan, and it looks pretty mint. Like, we might send it to get graded. There's a Dan Marino rookie. There's some super short print Emmitt Smith still in the packaging. Promo only card that's like, could be a big card. So he's pointing out all these cards that I didn't even go past them because I knew they were good. I didn't know they were good.
Yeah.
So the value of having Tim as the manager here is huge.
Well, I think something like that is just going to come with time. Like, you'll start seeing these cards over and over and over again. And I think it's tremendous with all the autographs to Tim on the wall.
To Tim. To Tim.
Yeah. And you know what's awesome about that? In radio, all of these artists, right? They'll sign a bunch of like 8x10s or something, and they'll send them to all the individual stations. Now, before it goes from the artist to the station, it goes to their label, their like local rep in that town. And that person will write, to Mike, who is the PD of that station.
I didn't know that's how that worked. That's funny.
Yeah. So I remember working in Portland, Maine. One came in from Demi Lovato, who I was a huge fan of at the time. And it said, to Mike. And I don't know, somehow I spilled a bunch of white out on it and wrote to JR on it. So suddenly I had a personalized Demi Lovato autograph.
We want JR. We want JR.
So that was pretty funny.
Hey.
So now, I don't know where that ended up, but for a while people were just like, and I remember I totally flexed it, totally posted it on social media. Everyone was like, wow, that's so cool that she would send this to you. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, we're tight, It's just how it goes, man. It's no big deal.
Demi, Yeah.
Yeah, it's been busy. Stuff's been coming in. It's like every morning we have our morning meeting. We call it the huddle. And I say every time, I'm like, Tim, there's no money. I got no money. I don't want to spend any money. Please, no, don't buy anything unless it's like the craziest deal and you can't pass it up. And every day I say that, something comes in that we buy. We have to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's been good deals. So I'm like, all right, well, if I don't say anything, nothing will come in. But if I say I don't, this is like the announcer's jinx. The other night, before the first pitch, the Dodgers, hey, we have a no-hit alert. They were trying to be funny. This is a no-hitter. The game hadn't even started yet.
I saw this.
First pitch, dude hits a home run.
It goes yard, bro.
Deep
Sends
center,
it.
bro.
That's
so
so
it's
funny.
the announcer's jinx in here for buying stuff. And, I just, cash flow is, it's tight. It's not like I have no money, but I don't want to spend it on some dusty old cards. The corners are bent and this and that. Oh, but it's old. I'm like, yeah, but it looks bad. Bring me the good stuff.
Yeah, so many people must, put together their little binders or, those little cardboard boxes for cards. Like, I got some heat in here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get like this ungodly number that they have in their, Yeah. I even have folks that reach out to me that are like, hey, JR, do you think if I like brought these into Dave, he might, and I'm like, business is business, brother. Go in and see.
I will look at no stone goes unturned. I will look at everything, but if you don't have a number, I'm gonna kick you in the shins. You're getting the Rick from Pawn Stars number. Well, best I can do is cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. So you spent your day at the shop. I spent my day at Out the Box out here, and they just did their first pop swap of the season, which is just like a big swap meet-up kind of deal. It was super fun.
Nice.
I DJ'd for like 3 hours.
Oh, that's where you were. Okay, because you're like, hey, yo, I got this event. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I told them I wanted to DJ the first one, just to like kick things off. And I added a bunch of stuff to my case, because there's going to be a lot of, there tends to be even more traffic flow during the pop swaps because all of the actual vendors that, routinely sell in the store, they all set up shop outside, and they'll trade amongst each other, sell amongst each other, different, folks come in and buy things and, it's pretty damn cool, man. So I just brought my mobile setup into the toy shop and just literally spun some house music for like 3 hours. It was pretty cool.
Dude, the Hungarian house beats. I knew they were going to pay off one day.
Yeah. Strangest
one day.
request I ever got, dude. Hey, brother, you play me some Hungarian house beats.
Huh?
And that's it. I said, I don't think I'm qualified to play any of that, to be quite honest with you.
I'm not. My license doesn't cover that.
No,
okay, that's
it does not.
It's a new charge.
Yeah, I gotta, I'm gonna have to pick some special copay for that, basically.
Man, yeah. I think, and then so we went to Brimfield. So I didn't talk about that. So me and my dad.
No, you were there with your pop, right?
Tuesday and Wednesday. And I was buying clothing mostly. I was looking for cards, but mostly it was clothing, right? Jerseys, T-shirts, vintage stuff, hats. I got a ton of dead stock hats with the tags still. Dude, I got a couple of hats that are like $150. This Brooklyn Dodgers starter cap from the 90s. And I was like, really? This is crazy. Anaheim Angels, 1994. It's perfect condition. The tag is still on it. Houston Rockets, the tag is still on it. So for you guys that don't know, Brimfield is a 10 miles of fields. It's the biggest antique flea market show in the world, and it's 3 times a summer. It's going on. Let's see, that was May, and then July and September. Western Massachusetts deals. It's all haggling all the time, and I love it. And I needed to get stuff for the shop. So I did that Tuesday and Wednesday, and then my dad Thursday went up and he just bought a garage, $30,000 for a garage of postcards, like 300 boxes, dude. That was just the postcards, and then there's books, and then there's old paper, and there were some baseball cards. So we're going back and forth to Freeport in a van, pulling stuff down. We got to get more storage. We got another shed. Like,
it's storage wars is what it is.
It's not a war. We're just winning. There's no competition. We're just getting stuff. And so that's good. But what's happened is, like, now it's not always sports cards that sell in here. Like, the eBay volume on the postcards is getting higher and higher and higher. So
yeah,
I did a post today for my birthday wisdom, which was, do you want to look cool? Or do you want to run a business that's successful? You can't always do both. They don't all. Yep. It's not always the same thing.
No.
And a lot of times the boring answer makes the money. So you got to do the quote unquote boring thing to get the money. Like, if you want to be seen as cool, don't spend all your money on a business. Just be an influencer. Like, you don't have to put up all this bread. You can just like do quotes and like take pictures and look interesting. And it might work for you. I'm just saying, but don't spend all this money on a business if all you want to do is flex, because you can flex for free.
Yeah. Bro, influencer is a word that I wish would just die already. Seriously. And second thought, though, you're mentioning how all these like super dope hats are showing up in Brimfield. Speculate for me. Hypothesize for me, if you will.
I'll pontificate.
How does some heat like this just go unnoticed?
So it goes noticed, but people don't want to step up to the plate and pay. And if you make friends with these vendors and you buy in bulk, they give you good deals. So I think for me, it's arbitrage, right? in New England, most people want to buy the Pats, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox. But if you have a good website, if you have a sports shop, you can go buy for $20 and sell for $50 in your shop because people know you for sports. So you're going to get the traffic.
Credibility.
Exactly. They want every team. They don't just want the Celtics and the Pats and the Bruins and the Red Sox. So I think I can put those on eBay and they'll just fly. I want to keep them, but of course, bad business. Don't keep the stuff. Don't get high on your own supply, as
you beat
some
me to
people
it,
say.
you son of a gun.
You can't partake. Like, I can't break open all these packs. I can't be opening these boxes that I have. Like, I got to let the people buy them. So with the hats, yeah, it's what you're looking for. Like, it's just what I'm looking for, and I guess I don't have a ton of competition.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's very interesting. Just the whole card culture. I don't really understand it.
I don't either.
You know?
And I'm in it, and I don't get it.
Yeah,
I still don't get it.
Yeah, like I'm just hoping before I get up to Maine this summer that all of us, like, dude, I just bought this lot of like 500 elites. Have at it.
You
You know?
Don't tempt me with a good time. I can't be. Look, your credit is good here, bro, but I can't be running up a big tab with you.
Put it on my tab. It's like, JR, you're already 6 bills deep. Just put it on my tab.
Just put it on my tab. It's just, hey, what's that in the back? You got some more?
Yeah, I'm here for the 5 o'clock free elite giveaway.
What? Yeah, you know, the thing in the paper. The what?
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
No. Golly, dude.
Yeah, the hobby stuff's been, I don't get it because cards ebb and flow. They go up and down. The values go up and down. And basically, it's like stocks. Like, you want to buy when values are low, buy, and then sell when they're high. And if you have a shop and you have enough money, the quote-unquote long dollar means you can sit and wait. And a lot of people can't. They have to flip quick. Like, that's their whole business. But if I can buy something low and a bunch of it, I can wait for the right time. So that's an advantage for me too.
Flip quick is a thing, man, because I was just telling you how Saturday I was at Retro Mania.
Yeah.
And this one seller had these 2 Ultimate Edition rock figures at 20 a pop. So I did some quick math, right? I was like, well, these are going for 40 all day. Like every single sale on eBay, 40, 40,
Recent.
40, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, and there was 2 of them. Like, I'm going to give both of them. I'm going to keep one, and I'm going to put the other one in the shop. And I put it in there today. And somebody came up and asked me about it immediately, you know? So
And?
it's like,
Did you sell it?
I think so. I think it moved
Boom.
today. A bunch of other stuff did too, which I was really happy with. And it's like, there's not a huge profit margin on it. But if you're getting that smaller profit margin enough times, it really tallies up to be the same thing. Rather than, okay, I got this super great piece. I think I'm gonna put it at this crazy price, and somebody someday somewhere will come in and buy this. And it's like, probably not. You're going to be sitting on that, you know, whether it's that card or that hat or that
it's a
jersey.
while. So if you have
Right.
a lot of those, over time, you'll be making sales every day. But
Yeah.
if you're just getting in and you're like, okay, I just bought this, I have a Kobe starting lineup. I haven't tried to sell it yet, but it's like an $800 toy. Now, if I had a bunch of those different things that were high number, the odds are that every day something will sell. But if I only have this one Kobe, I'm just waiting for one person, dude, that could take a lifetime.
Yeah, and you don't have that kind of time.
None of us do.
What would you say is like the most niche thing that you sell there? Because the one thing that I've learned since getting into the whole collectors, you know, area is like, if you think something is niche, like it gets niched down like 5-6 more times. You know,
does.
like I collect Mattel WWE toys. And then there's people that will like, okay, yeah, I collect those, but they're, you know, ones that are fixed up, or then you niche down even more. These ones are like custom made, so people will do custom clothes for it, which, mind you, I have a shipment coming from the UK in about 2 weeks, and you're neck deep when you're buying custom 3D printed items for your 6.5-inch action figures.
Dude, gotta take a chill pill.
So at WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes wore this really cool skull mask out to the ring. Of course, Mattel is going to make it down the line, but you got so many creative people out on the internet.
3D printers, they can do it quick.
Yeah, they turn it around super quick, and I got that coming, and like a custom Cody Rhodes title, which is like 3D printed and hand painted and strapped and like the whole thing. And I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, I did not anticipate getting this deep. And I can't be the only one out there like this. That's why I'm wondering, like, what is the most kind of niche thing that you have available at Double Play?
It's a good question.
I obviously know the most common is going to be sports cards.
It is, yeah. Sports cards, supplies are common because, people need sleeves and top loaders and boxes.
Just like I need stands for my action figures. I get it.
Yeah. I would say, we have like political bumper stickers or like retro defunct teams that don't exist anymore. Like I have USFL stickers of like every team. Unless you're a USFL fan, like you're not ever going to even ask about them.
Right.
But they're here. We'll have a sticker wall, dude. It's a whole wall of stickers.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah. And they're valuable, but it's like I always say, just because it's unique and valuable, the market still determines whether it sells or not. So somebody could be like, oh, it's $10,000. I go, I agree with you, but who's going to buy that from me?
Only you, and you're selling it to me.
You're the one who has it. So like you are your own market. So if you come up with a product idea, you got to think, who's my audience? And if it's an audience of one, then that doesn't make it valuable. It doesn't make it worthless, but it doesn't necessarily make it valuable.
That's interesting.
Because it's just going to sit. It's like it's a one of one. Like, all right, now here's a better example. In this area, the Portland Pirates, that was our team. Nick may have said Sea Dogs is all we got, but we also had the Pirates. So
we did.
In retrospect, he was just having a moment and he just thought of the Sea Dogs. But the Pirates here, okay, Calder Cup 94. I have the banner. I have the only banner that is in existence that hung in the Civic Center. It's now hanging from the rafters of my shop.
Wow.
If you're here and you're just a rabid Pirates fan and the window's closing because not all these people live here, it's valuable to you.
Right.
So there's a price that the person who has allowed me to hang this up says, hey, Dave, if they have a real offer at this number, give me a call.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so it's like how do you value a piece like that? There's no market for it because there's no other of them. So it's almost like,
it's a one of one.
What is it worth to you?
Right, it's a one of one. So you just come up with a ludicrous number and say, if somebody says that, do it. So
there's not like, you don't have an actual price tag hanging on it.
No. I just know what the price is, and I know if it's over this number, then I will make something happen. But also, sometimes I will just throw out a ridiculous number on something that I'm not selling.
Yeah.
And if somebody actually wants to do it, okay, great, I'll take the cash.
Yeah, sure.
Like, really? Do you want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to go to the bank now. Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Man, look at that.
It's all about communication, man. It's how you communicate anything. Communicate to my customers on my newsletter, like, hey, I have a new product in. I have this and that. And people come in. It's so cool. I love, like, I ran an ad in the paper, and people come in like, oh, I was reading about you guys, and I saw that you buy cards. I'm like, yeah, I buy stuff. Okay. It's communication, dude. That's it.
So now is it like, are you at the point where, again, because I've never run my own business before, outside of Amway. We covered that in season 1.
Dude, small SBO. couple SBOs here, a couple small
Yeah.
business owners. I should have added that to my. I did my post. I said this is my 8th business venture. That would be false. This is my 9th.
Oh, see?
I forgot.
Yeah, we tried to. I totally forgot where the hell I was going with this. Oh, okay. Is it like obviously a problem that a shop like this doesn't want to get into is buying more than what's selling. And now I could foresee this being a problem, being brand new. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's this new shop. Let me go sell my stuff."
Dude, it's been happening. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my ATM. Not your ATM, bro. No, you're getting 25% of retail if it's in good condition.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's easier said than done because every time you see something, you're like, I do want to buy it because you're confident, you can sell it, you can market it. But recently the clamps are on. I'm like, Tim, don't buy anything. Of course. What do we do today? We buy. We bought a binder. We almost bought 13 totes, but they were garbage from what he told me.
You know what I've been talking with a Tiz about out here at out the box? He's like, JR, you single-handedly revived wrestling figures in the store.
Dude.
And I was like, thank you, but I can't buy my own supply. So we need to figure this out and host like a buying event for like a Saturday, Sunday kind of thing where you're doing some sort of, instead of your typical 30, maybe it's 35% store credit or cash, whatever it might be. And we're trying to develop a plan of loading up the cases full of WWE figures because they do move here, but it's like, I can't just keep filling up the case myself. Yeah, like I can't purchase. I just brought these in. I can't buy them.
Yeah, well, also you have to get them at the lowest possible price, dude. I will do everything to get the item for the least amount because that determines my profit margin. Like I can't run a sale if I'm going to make $10 on this new box. I can't, dude. You have to pay full price, and I got to pay tax.
Yeah, tax is a mother grabber, bro. They'll get you.
Don't even get me started on that. Every month, state of Maine, sales and use tax. I'm like, oh, good, I made $15,000. That means like $900 to the state.
Golly, man.
Yeah, dude, I could use that, but that's how it works.
Yeah, I was just like thinking about tax because a listener of our show, Chris, shout out to Chris one time, we've learned that all of the newer elites, when they come in from China, they all hit California first. Right. And then they slowly, by truck, start making their way across the states. So there's a ton of stuff that I'm finding even here in Denver and, just a couple of weeks ago visiting California that he just will not see for a few more months. Like, dude, it just takes that long. It's crazy.
You're in a time machine.
Yeah. So,
that is crazy.
there were a few figures that I picked up for him.
That's cool.
Yeah, and mailed them out to him and sold them to him, at cost plus whatever it was to ship, he's a pal, so I don't mind doing that. And he would do the same for me if there was an older one out there somewhere,
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, man, I'm like, wow, I got these below retail, but after tax, no, I didn't. Not at all.
And that's why owning a business is important because if you're buying for inventory, you don't pay that tax.
Okay, really?
Yeah, it's a tax exempt status. Like I'm buying, sports cards, so I don't pay tax on it because I'm selling them to the general public.
Right. Wow. See, I had no idea how that even worked.
But
Dave,
that means you have to sell them. So you can't take them home and then hold on to them and then, you got to sell it.
Right. Two thoughts. You lead a very interesting life. I play Justin Bieber for a living.
Teach their own.
Yeah,
the beeps, sometimes you need the beeps.
And two, and I didn't mean this to turn into like a master class of, opening up your own collectible store, but how comfortable are you with an item sitting on the floor?
Oh, you mean like damage-wise? Is somebody going to steal it or?
No. I mean, somebody comes in, you purchase that Emmett Smith card like we talked about before.
Yeah.
Like how comfortable are you with like, is it, can it sit out for sale for 30 days before you have to drop the price and move it? Or is it 2 months, 3 months? Or like what's kind of what's the game plan with that? Like how comfortable are you with like that, whatever you have sitting out, like, man, this hasn't moved in months.
I see what you're saying. I always want to just move it. I tell Tim, like, yo, just put it on eBay. I don't care. Like these people, my customers, I love them, but I got to make money. And if they didn't come in this week, this is a hot card on eBay, sell it. Just sell it. Like the foot traffic isn't there. If we were in a place like the Old Port where people were walking around and could stumble into the shop, I'd keep more good stuff in, but a week or two and I move it and I keep turning it over because you got to get people used to the FOMO of like, it's not going to last forever. I was just going to
say, creating that kind of like fear.
Sense of urgency. It's like, you saw this card in here this week, doesn't mean it'll be here next week. And that doesn't mean I sold it, but I moved it to a new marketplace. So I think there's like, I'm doing a 25% off all clothing because of my birthday sale because I know the margins there. So I know I have room for the business to make money. And that's great for the customer. They're like, wow, like I got 25% off this jersey. Like, yeah, all day. I
would be jacked, yeah.
Yeah, I might buy two.
Yeah.
So you don't want stuff to sit, but if things like I have a baseball, 500 home run club, 11 signatures, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, like Ernie Banks, all the hitters. Wow. It's $2,500. I'm not budging on that.
Right.
I have no motivation to sell that until the right person comes in. Now, if all I had in here, going back to what we said earlier, was like all these really valuable things, then I'd be like, well, I have to make money. So you start making decisions on this is stuff I can liquidate, and this is stuff I got to stay put on.
Yeah. You see, like one of my more recent hunts, I went to this one spot. I think it was called Toys of the Universe. It was in California.
Wow.
And it was a
cool
pretty
name.
cool place, man. Yeah. And they had a ton of stuff, like anything and everything. And there was definitely some like high-end stuff, But I was like, man, if I get that, and I'm trying to tap into the mind of your customer, I was like, damn, I could get that, but like that's it. That's all I'm going home with.
Yep.
Right. But then I'm like, or I could pick up like 3-4 of these and just be just as happy, So to me, it's not so much about the high-priced item as it is, what's the value of it? Not like monetarily, but it's like, all right, if I have $100 to spend, do I get that one item that I'm going to be jazzed about? Or do I spend that 100 and get maybe 4 or 5, 2 that I'm pretty pumped about, and the others that I can flip to kind of make a small profit margin?
Yeah, so you're talking about value, and you want to have items in the shop. Like I understand flippers come in here, and there's certain things they look for, and there's collectors, and there's certain things they look for, and then there's kids who just want the guys they like, and I have like Patrick Mahomes cards for $250 and $5, and that's a great deal for them.
And they're hyped,
and they love it, dude. They're like, I'm not telling my friends because I want all the Patrick Mahomes to myself, dude. It's getting competitive.
So athlete. Yeah.
You have to have a bunch of different categories based on your audience. And so that's the way I think about it. I'm like, collectors want higher end stuff. They'll ask me for it. And the flippers want to make sure they can go through the value table and fill up a box. And like, if I sell them for 25 cents, I'll give them a better deal per card if they fill up a whole box, because that's like $320. So there's, things like that. And that's the way you can chop things up and move it along. But you don't ever want it to be a museum where like the price is absolutely the price, but there's some items where you're like, this baseball, where are you going to find this?
Nowhere.
Like,
one of one.
One of one. People, 2 cards. What's the best you can do? I go, let's add them up. What do you mean? I go, that's the price. Like what?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Where are you going to find this? Show me on eBay. Oh, well, here it is. Yeah, but the corner of this is like touching. This thing's not centered. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, but you could buy it. I don't want to. Why not? well, this is going to see what we're doing here? Why are you wasting my time? Come on.
Yeah. I got two thoughts that ran through my mind as you were saying that. And one of them is about flippers, and I'm going to save that for a second here. But the first thought was, even today, as I'm DJing, right, there's a customer that frequently comes in that knows that I sell there. And he's like, hey, this is yours, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, I just brought it in. He's like, the question that I get all the time, and I'm sure you get it too.
Here we go.
What's the best you can do?
Or, got any room on this?
See, I haven't heard that yet.
It's coming.
Always, what's the best you can do? And if it's a person that's always buying from my case, I'm like, take off $5. He's like, all right, well, what about this one? I was like, take off $5. Well, what about this one? Take off. Like, if it's, a person that's going to frequently buy from me, I don't have a problem doing that because you're going to make up for it in the long run.
Yes.
And the other part is, and people kind of treat me this way sometimes is, well, I know that you're a collector. This is for you. This isn't for you to try to, make a
Get the
rip
F
off
out
of
of here.
Yeah. So that brings me to my second thing. And that's like, have you ever experienced like an aggressive flipper in the wild?
Like somebody just trying to buy all the things to flip?
Yeah. So like, for example, like most recently when the new WWE Legends Series 22 came out, I went to a Walmart 7:30 in the morning for them to open up at 8, right? I'm waiting. And you start seeing all these other cars pulling up and you're like, what? And then it's like, okay, these women are here for the Stanleys, right? But these dudes, I don't know, there's like shady dudes. They're a little shisty. What are they into? And then you're like, you're casually walking in to the store and they start picking up their pace. So you start picking up your pace and then you're like on opposite sides of the aisle. So each aisle you pass through, you're seeing each other as you're getting to the same thing, and they're there just to try to purchase all of those just so they can then, okay, these are retailing at 25. I'm going to sell them 50 a pop. If it's a chase, 75, boom, 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 boom. And then there's like me, the collector, and I'm like, well, I want them for myself. And like, I don't know if you've ever experienced an aggressive flipper in the wild, like while you're out and about purchasing things for the store, or even one that's come in to see you.
Well, I haven't experienced it out in the wild because not that I don't go to Walmart and Target because I go there to buy things that I need. And, if I'm in there, I'll be like, I wonder what they got for sports cards and figs. But I just don't do that. I don't have time. I have a shop. People bring me stuff, which is great. It eliminates that problem. And then here's what happens is everyone who goes and buys those boxes, they rip them. They try to come and sell them back to me, all the singles. Oh, I'll give you a good deal. And I'm like, I got all this stuff. Like, you're not bringing me anything special. It's all the stuff you don't want. So why should I pay you for that? If you give me a really good deal, there's a place for it on the value table. But I can't tie up money. And like the value table stuff, most of it sits.
Yeah.
So I can't tie my money up in that for a long time.
No. Do you ever run into instances where people try to like sell you like fake stuff?
I haven't run into that without me and them both knowing. I'm like, you see this? This is fake. Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is not real.
Right.
I haven't had somebody be like, oh, I want all this money. No. I haven't had that. I'll be like, come on, buddy. You and me both know this is a digital print. Like, there's no way you have, what was it the other day? A buddy of mine brought in 4 Satchel Paige cards.
What are those exactly?
So Satchel Paige, he didn't get to play in the MLB until late in his career. But his rookie card is a 49 leaf. It's like a square card. In the condition they were in, these been real, they would have been worth $880,000 a piece. I would have been holding $3.2 million in my hand of 4 cards. Now, the buddy who brought him in was like, hey, look, relative sent these to me. I don't know. He's like, I brought them to you because I wanted you to look at them. So it was totally like, hey, if they're real, amazing. And if not, no big deal. So I'm very skeptical. Like, there's no way any of these are real. They're just not. Just look at them. But I said, you know what? I'm going to send one just so I know for sure, because I don't want to mess this up, because it could be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we got it back, and it wasn't real. And when you look at it under the microscope next to another real card from that era, the printing, how it looks, if under a microscope, all the dot printing, you can tell right away. You're like, oh yeah, that's fake. You can just tell.
Man.
Yeah, really quickly. Like, my eye, I think, picked it out already. I go, nah, that doesn't. It looks pixelated. Something looks too new. Are you telling me this 1949 card still looks this good? No way.
Yeah, come on, man.
None of the texture of the card was bleeding through. Like, like the old cardboard, it's still like a texture. There's like, I don't know how to explain. It looks like fiber or like a cloth almost up close. And none of that was coming through, and it should have been.
Okay, interesting. If it seems like I'm not paying attention to you, I am.
Oh, yeah, what are you sending me?
I'm sending you some text right now.
Dude. And
the reason I'm doing that is I was asking you about buying fake things. Now, what text I just sent to Dave are what, us in the elite community would call fig swaps. So you have these like, not these aggressive flippers, these aggressive thieves. And what they'll do, and I encounter these in the wild all the time, right?
Dude, this is wild.
No, it is. So, like, for example, let me go to that first text that I just sent to you, and if you can pop this up on the screen for us, Dave. Dude. Basically, this is supposed to be a Penta L0 AEW figure.
It is not. I know that, and I'm casual.
Right. So this is actually Stardust.
Dude.
That somebody put in here, and it's like, excuse me, it's funny, but it pisses me off to no end too. Reason is because some grandmother is going to come in there. Oh, this is my grandson, my granddaughter's favorite wrestler.
That's the name.
I'm going to get this for him. This is the one.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can go to the next one. This is supposed to be the new Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition Bret Hart, but what they've done are put random glasses in there. They swapped it with a basic Bret Hart, and they put an AEW title in there and a bunch of random other accessories. So it's like, figure swaps can be funny, but it's like, this is just shoplifting.
It is shoplifting.
Yeah.
So what do they do? Do they buy it, take it home, and replace it, or do they replace it in the store?
So what they're doing is, I have the perfect analogy for you.
I'm ready.
Right? When I was a teenager, I would go to Sports Authority.
Yes.
And because my family was so poor, I would put on the new shoes, put my old shoes in the box, and walk out.
That's a real move.
Right?
Nah, that's a real move. Yep.
Not proud of it, but as a teenager, I did a lot of dumb stuff.
Do what you gotta do.
Right. But these are full-grown adults that are purchasing these figures. Look at the next one of Kurt Angle. This is not Kurt Angle. This is Shawn Michaels' body
this is
with Kurt Angle's heads in there. Yeah, this is Shawn Angle, bro. So what they're doing is they're grown men that are buying these, and they're, cutting the tape carefully or heating the tape and just taking it off, right?
Yikes.
And they'll take their old figure, like the old shoes, put it in there, and then, bring it back and say, oh, my son already has this one. I'm going to have to return it. And then I'll see posts in the elite Facebook groups from these same motherfuckers that are selling this stuff to people that they just stole out of the package.
Wow. And they clearly just, that's messed up, dude.
Right. It's thievery, bro.
Dude, that's high
up.
Treason. You're just
no, it's awful.
Do you want to
look at this next one? This is somebody took like a Dean Ambrose basic body and like an old ruthless aggression head on Sheamus.
The shirt just gives it away.
It says Dean Ambrose on it.
Sheamus Ambrose, Dean.
Yeah, this stuff makes me crazy. And you see it kind of laughed at here and there because when you see one in the wild, it's like I said, it's both infuriating but hilarious at the same time. But then once you get home and you're looking in that group, and then people are selling all of the whole wave loose, and the wave just came out yesterday.
Right.
It's like, okay, something is going on here, guys. What's,
Terrible.
it's just messed up. So just bringing up fraudulent things like, say a person had a ton of these. They had Sean Angle, and they're bringing that into you, or maybe even to Tim. He might not know.
Oh, yeah, because you're like, oh, well, it's in the packaging.
Yeah, this is ultimate. These retail 35. Okay, sure, man. And then boom.
People have brought stuff in. Oh, I'll give you one. This is kind of along the same lines. We got a collection of like a Gronk signed football, Pat Mahomes signed football, Brady signed stuff. And one of the footballs had this like laminated authentication paper that said it was the New England Patriots. And I was like, I don't know about that. Everything else checks out. And it's, Steiner or JSA or PSA authenticated Beckett. And I said, all right, well, we got to send this ball. So we send the ball in the mail to New Jersey to Beckett. Just got it back a few days ago. And they were like, we cannot confirm, or whatever their language is. They don't say it's Fugazi. They just say, we can't
confirm or deny.
We can't say this is real. And they give you the rubric. And it was supposed to be a Tom Brady signed football. So now we just play catch with it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because Tom Brady's signature is $4,000 starting.
Golly.
Fanatics deal.
Now, do you think this is a person that was like maliciously trying to sneak one past you, or they just really didn't know what they had?
I don't think so, because the group of stuff they had was all authentic. And so it's like, why would this one thing? And there's 2 other Tom Brady signatures in there that are authentic. This one doesn't look like those very much.
Yeah.
It's close. But if it's in a group, whatever, we got a good deal. Like the deal worked out. But the good thing was we were in it with the person. So we're like, look, if this thing turns out to be real, we'll split it with you. No, no worries. So the good thing either way is like now we know for sure. I'm like, hey, I don't got to spend any more money with you. You're done. Look, I got the paperwork from Beckett. It's over. Right. I haven't had people I did have a guy who just brought me a box lot I bought for like $50. And I was like, these are fake. He's like, oh yeah. And then he realized I found like 12 fake cards. I was like, dude.
Wow.
What are you doing with these cards?
I've seen that happen at Out the Box. Somebody comes in to sell their Pokemon cards. And it's legit. If you were to take the card and you could peel it off.
Yeah, it's like
it's not
sticker.
the actual. Yeah, they're putting a sticker of the card over the card. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Why would you spend all that time? It's probably not even worth it.
So that chaps my ass. Let me tell you something else that does, is when I find these figure swaps in the wild, every single time, I always bring them to some type of employee, manager,
like,
whatever. Hey, this isn't real. This is how it's supposed to look. If you scan it in your own app, Walmart or Target, here's what it's supposed to. And they're like, I can't believe somebody would do something like that.
Are you sure about that? You really can't believe it?
Right.
Really?
And I'm like, it's awful. It's awful. So take this off the shelf. Make sure you don't sell it.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone back to the same store weeks later. And guess what's back on the shelf?
Yeah.
A fucking fig swap. They're still trying to move it.
Dude, I think it's probably worth you doing a video and going a little viral and being like, hey, Target, not saying it's your fault. You didn't do this, but you didn't try to stop it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how can they know? Well, everything is right in your own company's app.
I'm showing you. These pictures don't match.
Yeah. This is Shawn Michaels in a Kurt Angle. This is Dean Ambrose's, like, but again, the average person would have no idea.
Yeah.
Bro, I even saw one, and I don't know if I can find it anymore, but somebody legit put Teddy Long's head, a black man, on a white man's body.
That's gonna get you one-on-one with the Undertaker.
No,
gonna do.
It seriously will. And I'm just like, you can return it, no problem.
Well,
it's
everybody they fall back on policy because that's like way too much critical thinking for someone to do. They're like, I don't even know what the right thing to say is.
Yeah, it's like clearly,
man,
like he didn't just tan from the neck up. What is this?
This is it's a super short print, Teddy Long.
Yeah. I think it was him on like Kevin Nash's body or Bret Hart's body.
Super fake
like,
Diesel.
Come on. Yeah, super fake Diesel, bro.
Dude,
but those things drive me a little bit crazy. And if you're hearing this right now and you come across this kind of stuff in the wild, send me a message, send Dave a message. I'd like to see it.
Hit up Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. Take a bite out of crime.
We need to start a hotline, a fig swap hotline. Seriously.
Yeah, we do, man. The hobby, without concerned citizens like us, the hobby would suffer. So it's better because they have you out there just doing God's work.
Well, even when you're trying to, Walmart's still putting it out there for sale. Somebody took an Elite Razor Ramon and they thought they were slick, like I wouldn't know. It was an Elite Razor Ramon from the Raw 30th anniversary pack, the same 3-pack that got me into the hobby. And they swapped it with the Ultimate Edition Razor Ramon.
Dude, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, some of these are brutally obvious, but this one wasn't. And this is the one that I saw put back out the next couple weeks after. Couldn't believe it.
Got to tell these people. Look, life is all about communicating. And you got to keep trying to communicate differently. Some people get what you're saying, some people don't. Yeah. And, the other way we were going to go with this pod, before we wrap it up is like, you and me hadn't talked about my dating or whatever I've been up to, seen in a while. And I was like, I was like seeing this person for months not on and off, but like we weren't dating. So it wasn't like an expectation to see that person or talk to them every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that like stage just like continued. And finally, when I was like, yo, I really like you. Like, this is great. Should we just why don't we like do this thing for real?
Yeah.
Totally. Whatever it was, I'm telling you, listen, guys out there, you can do the right thing. You can do all the right stuff.
Doesn't matter.
Sometimes it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
And you can hear the right thing in return. Some people are not equipped with the emotional intelligence that they tell you they have to want to actually level up and, have a serious relationship. And so at first you're going to be mad. You're going to be like, man, like this isn't worth it. This sucks. And it's not even getting mad at them. It's just about like realizing they're not there. They could keep telling you that they're ready and, if this was different, if that, they're not ready. So you just got to leave them alone. That's all you can do.
Right. So let me ask you this. Does this make you feel like, wait, what am I not like tall enough? Do I not make enough money? Do I not have enough hair? Am I not handsome enough?
So it has nothing to do with that at all.
Because that's what's making me nuts.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, why wasn't I enough?
Right.
Like I'm not Mr. Alpha Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but it's like,
be that.
Right. I like to think that I'm a handsome guy and I get a lot of good things going for me. And then something like this happens and it makes me completely second guess myself over and over and over and over again. Yeah.
It's, I've been through so many relationships of extended period of time, not like a few months, like years.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the work like you have, going to therapy, and I've been going for a long time. And I just realized that when you are that version of what women tell you they want, when you really have filled it out, I'm not perfect, but I've done a lot of work. Like, I'm pretty much the person that women have told me they want. There's a couple things I haven't figured out, but communication-wise, like, all those things, I've checked all the boxes. When they actually meet me, that person that they say they want, they're not ready. And they quickly realize, or not so quickly, that they have more work to do than the guy does. And that's a very uncomfortable position to be in, because the rhetoric I've been hearing in my personal experience, I won't generalize for everyone, but in my experience is, like, guys aren't this, they aren't that, they're not ready, they're not emotionally intelligent, but when I am, they're like, it's, this thing. They start making excuses. When they start making excuses, that's how you know actually you're well-adjusted and you are ready. But that person, unfortunately, is not.
Yeah.
And you would like them to be, because the idea of someone is what a lot of people get tripped up on. is like the idea. I have this very flowery idea of who the best version of this person is, but they aren't that.
Yeah.
And it's humbling. And a lot of women I've dealt with, they don't want to take accountability. And until they can do that, I just have to remove myself and say, look, I'll give you a little time. I'm not going to wait forever, but if you want to take some accountability, I'm open to it, not in a sarcastic way. I really would be curious to hear it, but where I'm at with this person is like, you didn't want to hear it. You wanted to make excuses, and hey, none of my business. You don't have to explain yourself to me. But,
no.
But clearly, you're not ready for a real guy in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And without giving all the details of what's happening here, it's like I've been in this long distance relationship for almost 2.5 years now, longer than we were close distance, if that's even a word, right?
No, I get that. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a long time.
Yeah, and long distance relationships don't work. You might hear about like a ringer every once in a while where it does work, but the truth of the matter is I would often tell her, I go, if we don't keep this temporary, it's just going to keep going until somebody hurts the other person.
Facts.
And basically that's what's happened, And I've been strangely calm throughout the whole thing, which is, I think it's because part of me just doesn't know how to even be, right?
Right.
But I had to go ahead and do something that I never wanted to do because I wanted this person to really try to achieve everything they ever wanted. And that's give them an ultimatum.
Yeah.
And it was an ultimatum strictly out of what has happened and then what is going to continue to happen if you don't get out of this lifestyle that you're in.
Yeah. And
I basically had to say, if you want to fix this and you really do want to move on and, marry me and have children with me like you always talk about, then the long distance has to stop. You need to develop a plan to get out here with me because I have no desire to live in Hollywood. I have no desire to live that influencer lifestyle. You just turned 38. I'm about to be 38 in July. I just feel like I'm too grown for that. And I'm at a point in my life where I keep hearing the word legacy over and over and over again. And I never had before. And I'm like, well, what's mine going to be? I don't even have children yet, And that's just kind of where my heart is and where my mind is right now. And I'm like, the ball is basically in your court. I laid it all out. And I was like, you just give me your decision. And then I'll decide what it is that I'm going to do.
Yeah. And that's gracious to just, it's good to give somebody the grace of like, hey, I get that I don't quite understand where you're at, but nobody's perfect. But you need to decide and you need to sacrifice. What a lot of people don't want to do is they don't want to sacrifice their old life for what it can be. Mm-hmm. And, you and me have pivoted and given up the cities we've lived in, the careers we did, because you have to move forward. If you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it never works. You never move ahead.
Nope.
So, this is I bet you for a hot minute it'll be unpopular opinion among some of the women that we know and talk to, but the ones that know for real, you have to take some accountability. Not asking for extra effort, asking for minimum required, right? But then the other thing that I can impart in all of my 38 years of wisdom, because I'm so much older than you, is
please
don't accept people's breadcrumbs for full meals. Just because they give you a little bit here and there, you don't need to take that. Somebody is out there ready to give you everything they have. And you and me are so busy doing work, doing this, whatever, moving ahead. It's not like we're asking the woman in our life to adjust everything, but when no attempt is made, it's like Hitch. He does the 90-10. 90% goes in, 10% she'll meet you. I don't even feel like I'm getting a 95.5.
No, dude. Honestly,
why should we put in the effort as guys? Like this, ladies, this is what happens.
Yeah. And this is basically a result of us beating around the bush the whole episode.
Yeah.
And not trying to bring it up, and it's just like we couldn't contain it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. I feel like I check all of these imaginary boxes, but then it's like you'll just find something if you turn over enough rocks. And I don't know, man. It's like it hurts. It really does. It hurts so much. It sucks so much because I know this person's core values.
Right.
And I know who they are as a person and what they believe in. And I do feel like they did the right thing for, telling me the little incident that happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the fact that I had to pull it out of them.
Yeah. It's like you always want to be like, yo, I thought we were to the point where you trust me, you can share with me, and I'm not going to react poorly. It's all about how you react to being disrespected. Like, that's really important. And I think
I wanted to break stuff.
Yeah.
But I just stayed calm the entire time.
Yeah, because you've changed, because you evolved how you react to things that happen that you don't have control of. And it's just realizing, like, well, I can't control a person. Like, hey, you wanted to make that decision? I can't do it for you. So if you want to be here, you can be here. And if you don't, like, let me know. It's not harsh, but it's like, how fair is that to a guy when, like, most of society and lots of times the pressure of a relationship is we already have to do all this extra stuff. And we do it without complaining, by the way. We just do it.
Every time. Yeah. And it's like, again, I feel like I check off every imaginary box. I feel like I've been the most gracious boyfriend that has ever been, where it's like, I remember being that exact age and moving my life to Nashville to go after this dream that you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just so gracious with all that stuff and willing to be long distance for 2.5 years. Like, I didn't like it. I don't like it. And finally it's to the point where it's like, what's it going to be? Just like,
exactly. You got to make a decision,
and it's like, I try to be firm with that. I try to be strong with that. But dude, I have times even during the day, just like breaking down, like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not enough?
Well, when you
all of a sudden,
and again, it's like, this is not about like bashing anyone else, but people don't realize they're doing it. When you plant a seed of doubt, like, in your head that's now there, it's not that it's intentional or malicious, but the lack of awareness that you've done it, that's the problem. It's like, to your partner or, whoever you're dating or seeing, and this applies, I think, to a lot of people, you just have to say, like, why are you not concerned with me? Like, where's the empathy for me? Why is it always about, like, how you feel? Why do I always have to? Anyway, all that stuff, like, you got to make yourself happy. So I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're just like, look, I got to do what makes me happy. And I thought that you being a part of this was part of that. But clearly it's stressing me out more than it's adding to my situation.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
Yeah. We've talked once. Sent me breakfast on Thursday as like whatever.
At least you got that, bro. I didn't even get a text on my birthday. I was like, oh, so you're done. I'm like, okay. No, I mean, honestly, though, in my situation, it makes it a lot easier because I'm like, great, message sent.
So after the breakfast, I had a missed call, and it's like, oh, I only called by mistake. I was trying to copy the number for the Uber Eats person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I laid everything out for you last night. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's all you can do, though, man. It's got to feel a little better just being like, I said exactly what I needed to say.
Yeah, but, since then, it's just been silence.
Yep.
So I don't know which way this will go. I talked with one of our other pals about it. I was like, man, I feel just like
Yeah.
Like, just, but he's like, bro, this has nothing to do with you being more than enough, good enough, better.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And I don't know, man. You know me. I'd wear my wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm usually really good at censoring myself, by the way.
Yeah, you do. No, you do, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just distracted myself all weekend. But
I thought it was like, I know you and me are going to talk more, but I thought it was important for us to talk on this, because this is the kind of conversation that doesn't really happen, I think, on social media. I've seen a lot of guys podcasts, but mostly they're just bashing women, or they're like very one-sided. But you and me are just talking from personal experience. We're not making generalizations. We're only basing it off of things that have happened to us. And I'm sure it's happened to other guys too. And again, this doesn't make the woman in your life a bad person. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying, like, there's no need to wait around for someone else to decide your fate. Like, hey, I thought we were going this way. I'm still going this way. And now, unfortunately, either you're coming with me or I'm leaving you there.
Yeah. And I think that's like the hardest part, is like the cold hard fact of that, the like realization of that, the acceptance and acknowledgement of that. I think it's
that's not easy.
'Cause, yeah, you spend your most intimate moments with a person for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. But anyhow,
so what we do here, we
love
try
you, buddy.
to share.
Yeah.
I love you too, man.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, bro.
I think I'm going to go spark up the hookah and unbox some more figures, because it's the only thing that seems to be putting a smile on my face right now outside of doing this program. So
you do what you got. And you know what else you got is this Game 7 is in the background. But I've been locked in, but it's starting to creep. I don't know.
Yeah.
Denver's up. It's only the second quarter, but, the Joker is no joke.
No, he seemed pretty pissed off last game, right?
It looks like he always wants to ride his horses.
Yeah, basically. He's like, you know what? This would be nice to get out of here now so I can go home. But that parade was pretty fun, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you get a bonus for playing in the finals.
Yeah. If you made it all the way here, I don't know, an hour and 10 in, you're one of the real ones. Me and Dave both appreciate you a ton. Episode 5 coming up next week. We're going to continue our Q&A.
Favorite episode.
Every 5 we like to do a Q&A. So open up your Instagram, tap the microphone, send us a question, send us a comment. If you're experiencing any of the things that we talked about today, send us that too.
We'll get deep. We're good with that.
We're not afraid to.
We'll do what we can. Look, we are not licensed or certified or anything, we'll give you our opinion. Take it or leave it.
Absolutely. So drop us that question for Q&A. For Dave, my name is JR. Please remember, it's cool to be you. Peace.
Peace.